Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning. So we are in week 10 now. Okay, so we have a new topic in C++ today. We have array topic. Okay, today. So before we go into detail about array, okay, this is just an introduction, right? So before we move, you just imagine, if you still remember, okay, before this, if you want to declare any variable, okay, you have to know what is the switchable data type for that variable. For example, okay, if you want to declare mark, okay, so what is the switchable data type for marks? Okay, you might use integer or you might use float. Okay, here I have mark integer or mark float. So you can use either integer or float, right? So that is the suitable data type for mark. Okay, if you want to put the integer number, you might use integer, but if you want to use the, or you want to input the floating number, you might use float. Okay, so you can use either one, right? Let's say now you want to declare 5 marks. Okay, so you have integer mark 1 comma integer mark 2 mark 3 mark 4 until mark 5. All the marks here, we have the same data type, we have integer. Okay, so now if this variable mark, okay, they have the same data type integer, okay, you can declare just separate by comma, mark 1 comma mark 2 comma until mark 5, and then you put the data type. Okay, so in this case, okay, if you have the variable, several variables here, okay, and then we have the same data type, we can use array. Okay, let's say you have mark 1 integer and then mark 2 you have float. So in this case you cannot use array. Okay, so why we have to use array? Okay, why we need to use array? Okay, let's see here. If you have mark 1, you want to declare hundreds of mark, you have mark 1 mark 2 until mark hundreds, and all the marks here have the same data type, that is integer. So you have a long declaration here, mark 1 comma mark 2 comma until mark 100, and then you put integer. You have a longer declaration here. Okay, so in this case we are wasting our time to write the long declaration, so we can use, or we can simplify our declaration by using array. So make sure if you want to use array, you have several variables, okay, several variables that have the same data type. If the variables have different data type, you cannot use array. Okay, that is the key how in order to use array. Okay, now so what is what is the definition of an array? Okay, so variable that can store multiple values of the same data type. Values have the same data type, must have the same data type. Okay, so if you notice, the variable have the same data type, you can use array. So now we are going to see the array into detail. Okay, how to declare the array and how to use the array in the program. Okay, first, how to declare the array. Okay, if you want to use any variable in the program, you have to declare the variable. Okay, same goes to array, you need to declare the array. Okay, in order to declare the array, you have to know, you have to give the name for your array. So what is your array name, and then what is the data type for the array, and then you have to put the size of the array. What is the size of the array, and then you have to put at the end here semicolon. Okay, semicolon here. So for example here, if I have the array name integer, array name test, okay, and then I put test, and then the size of the array is 5, so I put here test 5, and then the data type is integer. So you can read here, test is an array because they have the symbols for the size here. Okay, open and close bracket for the size here, and then this is the size of the array. So test is your array, and then the data type for the array is integer. So meaning here, if you have test 5 integer, all the value in the array, in the test here, must integer data type, must be integer data type. Okay, so that is the declaration of the array. So if you see here, okay, we have integer test, we use the same still the same example. Okay, if you have integer test 5, okay, so this is the visual of our memory. Okay, if you have this declaration. Before this, if you declare only a variable, okay, you have only one box, right? But now if you declare an array, because we have the size of the array here 5, so in this case the visual of our memory, you have 5 box here. Okay, and then the how many box that we have in our memory, it depends to the size of array here. So we have 5, so we have 5 box here. Okay, if you see in this box, okay, okay, now let's say I have put already the value in the box 10, 5, 12 minus 1 and 5. After this, we are going to see how to input the value in this box. In this case, I put already all the value. So how are you going to read this variable? Okay, so 10 is the we call it element. This is the first element, 5 the second element, 12, 11, 12 is the third element, minus 1, fourth element, and then 5 is the fifth element. So we put here test 0, okay, meaning here test is your array name, and then 0 here the size, okay, the size. This is the size, or we call it subscript or index. We how to read test 0, and then the element is 10, okay, test 0. Okay, test 1, the element is 5, okay, test 4, the element is 5 here. So we start our element. This is the first element, but we start the index for the first element is 0. The index for the second element is 1. Okay, so we start the element. This is the first element. We start the index or the subscript with 0. So the last element, the last subscript or the last index here must be the size of your array minus 1, because we start with 0 here. So first element is 10, okay, location test 0, the 0 here you call it index or subscript, index 0 or subscript 0. So how many elements we have in this array? We have 5 elements. The first element start from test 0, or we call it test subscript 0 or test 0. Sometimes we just call test 0, test 1 until test 4 here. Okay, so if you have the definition integer test 5, okay, so what does this definition means? Okay, so the data type of the array elements is integer. So we have the data type for the array element is integer, and then the array name, okay, is test. Okay, test is the name of your array, and then 5 here, this is the size of your array. Okay, it shows the number of element in the array. How many element you have in the array depends to the size of your array. Let's say you have 5, your array size is 5, so meaning you may have 5 elements in the array. Okay, so that is the first the first declaration. Okay, the first one we want to see just now is declaration. Okay, now we move to the initialization. Okay, so how are you going to initialize your array? Okay, let's say we use the same example here. Okay, you have the integer test 5. Okay, you want to assign the value into this array, okay, in each box in this array. So you might use, okay, you might use this initialization. Okay, you can write integer test 5 equal to open brace 10 comma 5 comma 11, not 11, 12 comma minus comma, and then 5 comma, no, 5, then you have to close your brace, okay, and then you have to put the semicolon here. Okay, so if you write this initialization, okay, so in the box here, let's say you have in the box just now, this is the box. Let's say the box is 0 first, we don't have any value. So if you write this initialization, okay, you have the initialization here, all the box here will have the value 10, 5, 12 minus 1 and 5. Okay, so that is the initialization. Okay, so in order to input or insert the value in the array, okay, in the box, okay, just now we have, so you can use the initialization and then you don't have to use the cin statement. Okay, so if you write like this, okay, this initialization, all the box will have the value, right? Okay, so that is the initialization. You know already how to declare and then how to initialize the array. Now if you want to input the array, but now we don't want to use the initialization, but we want to use the input statement, cin statement. Okay, let's say the box just now, you don't have any value in the box. Okay, the box is blank, right? Okay, so we want to input, or we want to insert the value or the data into the array or the box just now. Okay, so you can use this cin statement. You just cin, okay, cin statement that we have before this, and then greater symbol here, put your array name, and then it depends to the subscript. Okay, that is the size of the array, but it depends to the subscript. Maybe you want to input for the element, the first element, so subscript 0, second element subscript 1, third element subscript 2, okay, uh, fourth element 3, and then the last one is 4. So you just use the cin test 0, meaning here you want to input the element for the first box, okay, test 0, the element for the second box, element third box, okay. So and then the last one, we want to input the element for the fifth box, okay. That is the test 4 here. So if you use the cin statement, okay, you want to input the box, the value in the array or in the box. If you use the cin statement, let's say you want to input 100 of element into the array, you have to write until 100 time of cin statement. So this is not practical, okay. Normally we don't want to write all the longer statement, just cin statement, okay. So we can use 4 statement in order to save our time, or in order to simplify our program. So we can use for x equal to 0, at less than 5, x plus plus, open brace, close brace, and then cin test x semicolon. Okay, let's say now x is 0. Okay, so 0 less than 5. Okay, so cin test 0, meaning here you want to cin test 0, the first element, and then x plus plus. Just now we have x0, x plus plus, 0 plus 1, you get 1. 1 still left than 5, okay. Cin test 1. This one, cin test 1 for the second element. It will repeat until cin test 4. Okay. So in this case, okay, if you notice here, what does the the x here, what we call the x here? X here is the subscript or the index, meaning here cin test 0, so subscript 0 or index 0. So you can change. If you don't want to use the x, you might use any other variable here, okay. But you have to make sure it must start from 0, because our array, the index of our array, the subscript of our array start from 0. Okay, so you have to start from 0. You can use y, or you can use z, or you can use student. Let's say you want to change for student equal to 0, student less than 5, student plus plus. Cin test here should be student. Okay, so it depends to the whatever variable you use in this for here. All right, so that is the input statement. Okay, now if you have input, or you have insert the data into the array, okay, let's say now we have input the data, all the data we have input just now, we want to see out, we want to print the data from the array, we just use cout statement. Okay, but you have to use cout array name, and then you have to put the subscript here, which element you want to see out. Let's say I want to see out the first element, cout test 0, because the subscript must start from 0. Okay, so cout test 1, and then we have cout test 2 here. Okay, we have cout test 2, cout test 3, and then test 4. So in order to simplify our program, you can use 4. Okay, same goes to the cout statement here. For x equal to 0, at less than 5, x plus plus, cout test x. If x is equal to 0, so cout test 0. So what we have in test 0 just now, we have 10, right? The value is 10. Okay, yes, the value is 10, so you will get the 10, right? So that is the output statement. We have the output statement. Okay, so normally, okay, we use for loop to input or output the data from the array. If you use array, normally we use for loop, okay, to input or to output the data. Okay, now I have the example here, the example of array in the program. How to use array in the program? Okay, let's say this is the question here. I have the question, I have the example here. Write a program that can accept 5 floating numbers from the keyboard and print all the numbers. Okay, so in this case, we have to write the program that can accept 5 floating numbers, meaning you have to know here, okay, the array here. Okay, you might use the array, and then the data type for that array is float, because 5 floating numbers from the keyboard. Okay, if we say from the keyboard, meaning you have to use the cin statement, right? Cin statement, and then print all the numbers, and then cout statement. Okay, we see the solution for this example. Okay, I have write the program here. Include Agustin.age void main. Okay, open brace here, and then we have the close brace. Okay, let's say I use the array name for this example nom, or whatever name you want to use, but I use nom here, and then the size is 5, because accept 5 floating numbers, and then I put the data type for the array is float. Okay, so this is the declaration, and then I put here integer x. What does x here mean? Okay, just ignore first. Okay, this is for input data. We want to input the 5 numbers, 5 floating numbers from the keyboard, so meaning you have to use the cin statement. Okay, so I use here for x equal to 0, at less than 5, x plus plus. Okay, I can just write here cin norm x. Okay, I can write like that, cin norm x, meaning x refer to if the subscript here. If x is 0, so norm 0, norm 1 until norm 5. But if I just put cin norm x, okay, sometimes the user do not know what are they, what are they are going to do. Okay, so I put the cout statement here, insert, please insert any number. So when the cursor is blinking here, okay, the user can input any number, maybe 1, 2 or 3. Please insert any number, cin number, so you can put any number. So let's say we see in any number until 5 number here, then we want to see out the number, so you use the cout statement. This is the output data cout, the number that has been input. Okay, so for x equal to 0, at less than 5, x plus plus, cout norm x. Norm x depends to the subscript here. If the x is 0, cout norm 0. Okay, and then you end up here with close braces here. Okay, so this is the output data. Okay, so you use the x here for the subscript or index. Okay, so this x, okay, you can change, you can use y, or you can use student, or whatever variable you want to use, but I use x. So this x must be declared at the top here, so I declared x integer. Why I put the data type for integer? Because we count x from 0 until 5, until 4, 4 less than 5. Okay, you can't put the x float because we start from 0. X is referred to our subscript or our index must be integer. Okay, so that is the example how to use the array in the program, the simple program here. Okay, so if you run this program, let's say you run this program. Okay, so you have, please insert any number. Let's say you type 15, and then repeat again, please insert any number, minus 8, 4, 10, and then minus 20. You have 5 numbers because the size of the array is 5, meaning we want to input 5 numbers. Then after we have the cout statement here just now, you have the cout statement. Okay, so this is the output for the cout statement. The number that has been input, 15 minus 8, 4, 10, and minus 20. So whatever you enter, whatever you insert just now, this is your output, right? Okay, so that is the example how to use array. Okay, now we move to array of string. Meaning here, if you have array of string, you have the array, but the data type for the array is char or string. Okay, char or string here. Char meaning any character. Okay, or sometimes we can use string or char here. Okay, so let's see the example here first. How to declare the array if your array is char, or the data type for your array is char. Okay, so character array can be initialized by enclosing string in open and close double quote here. Okay, for example here, let's say I put the size equal to 6. Okay, and then the data type for size is integer, and then I put the const here meaning constant. Okay, constant, permanent. Okay, permanent or constant, right? So so if you have the size of your array is 6 here, let's say now I have the array name f name. Okay, and then the f name, the data type for the f name is char. Okay, meaning here your array now the data type is char. Okay, and then what is the size of your array is referred to the size here. So the size is 6. So char f name size, meaning char f name 6 equal to Henry. Meaning here you want to input the char, the char value in the box or in the array here. Okay, so if we put the initialization char f name size equal to Henry here. Okay, you have to put the Henry here between open and close double quote and then semicolon. Okay, so we can imagine in our memory computer we have 6 box, actually 6 box, because the size is 6. You have 6 box, 1 2 3 until 6 here. But as I told you just now, the subscript must start from 0. So 0 1 2 3 4 5, but the size is 6. 2 4 6 here. Okay, so if you declare, you do the initialization, find f name size char, and then you put the Henry here, so the H will move to the first box, E N R Y, and then the last box here. Okay, this is, we call it the null character. Okay, null character here, null character. So the last box in the array of char must be reserved for the null character. Okay, so that's why I have here must leave a room for the /0 or null character at the end of the array here. Okay, meaning here, let's say your name. Okay, the length of your name is 5. Okay, let's say Samad here, Samad. Okay, so the last here must be reserved for the null character. Okay, null character. So make sure you put the size is 6. Okay, if you just put just nice. Okay, your name, your length, your alphabet. Okay, how many character you have in your name? Let's say 5, and then you put the array size also 5. Then you will get only 4 character will be input in the array, because the last box here reserved for the null character or /0. Okay, so this is the array of char. It quite different. Okay, between array of char and array of float or an array of integer. Okay, array of char meaning you want to input the char or the alphabet, the character into the box. Okay, the character might be your name, your address. That is the char, not the number. So if you use the array, okay, and then the data type is char, you have to make sure that you have to reserve the last box here for the /0 or null character, right? Okay. Okay, now we have seen the array. Okay, array of integer, array of float, and then array of char. Okay, we have seen how to declare the array, how to input the data into array by using the cin statement or initialization, and then how to output the data from an array by using the cout statement. Okay, now we are going to see the example how to use the array of char and array of integer in the program. Okay, so this is the example. I have the example here. Write a program that can input the name, mark of test 1 and mark of test 2 for 5 students. Okay, what does this question ask us to do? Okay, this question asks us to input the name, okay, your name, and then mark of test 1. What is your mark for the test 1 and mark for the test 2? You have test 1 and then you have test 2, so the mark for the test 1 and the mark for the test 2. For me, how many students? For 5 students. Meaning here, okay, you have 5 students. You can input the variables into an array. Okay, because we have the name, and then the name you can declare as char, mark test 1 and test 2, okay, as integer, and then how many students, the size is 5. Okay, we have 5 students, so the size of array is 5. Okay, after that we have find the average mark. Okay, you have to find the average mark of each student. Okay, you have test 1, you have test 1, so what is the average of the test? Okay, the mark. Okay, and print out the name and average of each student. Okay, you have to print out the name. Okay, let's say Adi. So what is the average of the mark? The average of the mark for test 1 and test 2 for Ali. So let's say in your class you have 5 students, Ali, Ahmad, Chong, Salmah, and let's say Ramu. So we want to know for each student, we want to print out the name, okay, and then the average of mark for each student. Okay, so let's see the example here. Okay, so I've written the solution here. Okay, include iostream.h void main. Okay, this is the normal void main here. You have the open brace, and then at the end here we have the close brace for the main, right? Okay, at the top here, okay, I put the comment here, declaration of variable, meaning we want to declare the variable that we are going to use in this in this program, in this array. Okay, so in order to know what is a variable that you have to declare, you have to read the question. What is the variable that we have in this question? We have name, okay, test 1, and then test 2. Okay, so name, for sure, the data type for the name is char. Okay, but how many students that we have here? How many name we want to input? 5 students, meaning 5 name. That's why I put the name here in the bracket for the size here 5, right? Okay, and then okay, just we have after 5 here. Okay, I put 10 here. What does 10 here mean? Okay, 10 here meaning, okay, the size of your name. Okay, let's say I put the size of my name 10 here, meaning you can input the character into the array box, okay, until how many character? 9, right? 9, because the last box reserved for what? For /0 or null character. Okay, meaning if you put the size of your name here, the length of your size, the length of your name is 10, you can input until 9 character. Okay, remember that. Okay, then we have to declare the second one, test 1. Okay, test 1, and then the size of test 1, okay, how many students? We have 5 students, so 5, and then integer. Test 2, 5, also integer. And then the other one, find the average of mark. So you want to find the another variable that we have here, average. Average for how many students? For 5 students. So test 1, test 2, average here, the data type is integer, and then I just put x here. Okay, x here, X is referred to our index or subscript after this, right? Okay, so X is integer. Then I have the input here. I put the comment input. Okay, we want to input the data now. We want to input the name and the test for the student. For X equal to 0, okay, must start from 0. I've told you already the index or subscript for the array must start from 0. X less than 5, okay, because we have 5 students, X plus plus. And then this is the open brace for 4, and then this is the closed brace for 4, right? See out, insert the name. See in name X here. Okay, so you have to see in the name X, okay? Name X meaning for the for the first student, okay? And then insert test X here, test 1, see in test 1 X. Insert test 2, see in test uh, 2 X here. Not this set. This is spelling errors. Should be test. Test. Okay, should be test, not st. Should be test. Okay, test X, and then we have uh, test. We have test 2, right? Okay, test 2, test X here. So meaning here you now you have input, you have to input the name of the first student, okay, and then the test 1 for the first student, the test 2 for the first student. After that, you can calculate the average of test for this student. Average X, okay, if X refer to 0 for the first student, okay, test 1X, test 10 plus test 20 divide by 2, because now we want to know the average of the test, okay. So you get average X, average for the X here. If X is 0, average 0, okay, test 10, test 20. So you get the average here depends to the X, and then if the X is 0, meaning as average for the first student. Okay, so now let's say we insert all the name until five name here, start from 0 until 4, and then each student we insert the test 1, also the test 2, and then we calculate, we get the average for the test. Okay, let's say now we want to display the output, okay, because the question asks to find the average. We have find the average already, and then print out the name. Okay, you have to print out the name. What is it, the name, and then the average. You know the name already, and then the average we have calculate already. What is the average of the test? Now we want to just see out. Okay, we want to see out. Okay, so you can use the see out statement, but now you put all the see out statement in the looping. Okay, so I have here comment for output, see out list of student and average, and line. And line meaning I want to make sure, okay, the output, the cursor will move to the next line after the list of the student and average here. So you have 4x equal to 0, at less than 5, x plus plus, see out name x. Let's say x now is 0, see out name 0. Name 0 meaning for the first student, and then slash t here, slash t, and then I put the slash t between open and close double quote here. Slash t meaning tab. You want to have the space between the name and the average, right? You want to have the space. Let's say you want to slash t slash tab, you have the space. Okay, so after you have the space, average x. Okay, so let's say x is 0 for the first student, you get the name, and then you get the average, and then end line, the cursor will move to the next line. Then x plus 1, okay, you get 1 here. 1 still less than 5, see out name 1, and then average 1, you get the second student. It will repeat until x is 4 less than 5. We have 5 students, right? So that is the solution. Okay, the how to use the array of char, okay, array of char and array of integer in the program. You can try this solution or later, okay, or you can use the computer. If you have any compiler, you can try using the computer in order to get the output for this question or this example, right? Okay, so we have seen, okay, we have seen here how to use first how to declare the array, okay, then how to use the array of char, array of integer, and then array of float, okay. But array of char and array of integer and array of float here, okay, I use array of integer, okay. Similar, if you want to use array of float, is also you can use array of float, right? Okay, so I think for the array, okay, this is the array of one dimension. We have array of two dimension, but I'm not going to uh, to give you the array, to give to the lecture to the student on array of two dimension, okay, because it's not included in our syllabus, okay. So I think for the array of one dimension here, I have covered all the topic already, okay. You have to know how to declare the array, how to do the initialization of array, how to use the cin statement in order to input the data, and then how to use the cout statement in order to output the data, and then how to total the element of the array, okay. Like just now you have the test 1 plus test 2, and then you have you have to divide by 2, okay, by 2, okay, in order to get the average, okay. I think I've covered already all the the array of one dimension, okay. So I have the question, I have several question or exercise after this, okay. So I hope you can understand the array topic today, okay. So now we are going to see the exercise after this, Okay, I have a question. Okay, you can try this question later, right? I read the question here, okay, so that you get the idea how to solve the problem. Okay, as a preparation for the raining season next year, right? Meteorology Department of Perak has collected rainfall data in 10 areas that have been identified as flooded areas for 4 weeks. Okay, table 3 shows the example of the data. So let's say in Perak we have several area here. Let's say we have Gugusan Manjoi, and then the last one we have Bandar Manjung. So every area here we have the data for rainfall for every week. Every, let's say week 1 we have 80, week 2 65, 70, and then 19. This is for Gugusan Manjoi. For Bandar Manjung, let's say week 1 we have 60, 88, 67, 56 here. So what is the question here? Okay, write a program that prompts the user to enter the rainfall data for 4 weeks. Okay, you have to enter the rainfall data for 4 weeks for a few areas, right? Calculate and display the average rainfall of each area. Let's say for Gugusan Manja, you enter the rainfall data for week 1 80, week 2 65, 70, and then 19. Then you have to calculate the average of rainfall for this Manjung, Gugusan Manjung. Okay, and then you have to display the average. You may use two-dimensional arrays to keep the area's name, and one-dimensional array to keep the rainfall data. In this case, okay, why we use the two-dimensional array? Because the area name is the char. Okay, char, if you still remember, if we declare the array name as char, we have a two-dimensional area. The first area is the how many student or how many area, right? And then the second bracket we have the length of the area, right? Okay, the length of the name. Okay, you can refer to the example that I have given to you, okay. And one dimensional array to keep the rainfall data. So if you try this question, okay, you can get 20 marks for this question, okay. Not you can get, okay, this question you may get 20 marks, okay, this kind of question. If you have this kind of question, okay, you can get 20 marks. Okay, so you can try this question later, right? Okay, if you have any problem, you can ask me, okay. Okay, before I stop the array today, I want to detail up about the array of char, just a little bit about array of char, so that you might use this array of char later, right? Okay, now let's say you declare char name here. Okay, what does it mean? Okay, you have the variable name and then the data type is char. Okay, let's say you declare the char name at the top of your program, right? The char name at the top of the program. For example, just now we have here, we have the example just now. We have here char name. Okay, but in this case, okay, you just put we just declare char name here, char name. Okay, char name, and then suddenly in the middle of your program you want to input the name, you just type cin name here. Okay, cin name. Okay, you have to understand. Okay, if you declare char name here, meaning here you only have one box, right? You have one box. Okay, so this char name similar if you declare char name 1. Okay, the size of your array is 1. Okay, so that's why when you input the name cin name, you can input only just A here. The character, only one character here. Okay, you get what I mean? Okay, now let's say now you declare char name and then you put name in the size of your name 5 here. Okay, what does it mean? Okay, in this case, okay, you want to declare the variable name, but the length of your name is 5. Okay, not the length of your name, but the size of the size of the array name is 5. Meaning you just imagine, okay, in the our computer memory we have five box, okay, five box, okay, but if you still remember, the last box is reserved for the /0 or null character. So when you see in name here, let's say you see in brown, you see in name here, you see in brown, what how many character will go to the box? Okay, you will have BROW, just BROW, because the size of your array name here, the name here, the size of your array name here is 5. The last box is reserved for /0, so n cannot move to the last box. Okay, so make sure if your the length of your name is 5 characters, okay, so you have to put the size here must be 6, right? That is the clue here. Okay, and then here I have the another one. I have okay, this one, char name 510. Okay, char name 510 here, meaning we want to declare the array here. The name of our array is name, okay, and then this is the 5 here. How many name? 5 name, and then this is the length of the name, okay. So we read name 5 is the how many name, and then this is the length of the name, char here. Okay, or if you want to you don't want to mention how long is your name, okay, you just use string. You can use string name 5, meaning here you can put any length of your name for your name. Okay, so how many name we want to input? 5 name, right? 5 student, 5 name of student here, but the length of your name is unlimited. It's up to us how many character we want to input. So you can use string, but if you want to use string, don't forget at the top of your program you have to include string.h at the top of your program. Okay, if you use char, you don't have to include anything, but if you want to change, okay, this is for the array of char only. Okay, if you want to change to the string, you don't want to use char, you want to use string, okay, you can use include iostring.h. So if you put at the top of your program include iostring.h, you can input any length of the name. Okay, let's say here you have 5 name here, 5 student. You can import Ali, James Bond, Mutu, Brown, and Chong. So make sure you know the difference between the okay, if you just declare char name and then char name 6 and then char name let's say 510 here, what does it mean, right? Okay, so I think that's all for the array of char here, the detail about array of char. Okay, um, okay, scheme X. Okay, if scheme X equal to A, one character is scheme X equal to pension spelling full character. Okay, this is the the difference between if you use the char. Okay, let's say you use char name here. If you want to compare, if scheme X, for example, equal to A, okay, this is correct for only one character. But if you put the string.h, okay, you can put if scheme X equal to pension, you can spell out pension, okay, you can spelling in a full, okay. But if in this case you use the char, you can you have to only one character here. So let's say you want to compare for the uh, uh, full spelling here, you can use if scheme X equal to pension, but you have to use the string.h at the top of your program. Okay, so that is the array of char, the array of char. So I have several questions, and then I will upload the question later. Okay, this is the question. I will upload the question later, so you can try the question later. Okay. Okay, I think that's all for today. Okay, for array topic. Okay, so I hope you can understand. Okay, the lecture today. Okay, we have the conclusion now. So what you should know today. Okay, the main topic here, okay, the subtopic here, you have to know how to declare the array, and then how to do the initialization of the array, and then how to input the data using cin, how to output the data using cout, and then how to calculate average of the array, total the element, and then you calculate the average of the element in the array. Okay, I think that's all for today. Okay, thank you very much, and assalamualaikum.